Hi, I'm Judy. Welcome to Go with Yin Yoga and today's very grounding exploration of cat pulling its tail pose. I'm going to suggest maybe you grab a journal just so you can start journaling how different options feel in your body today. Always remembering it will change from day to day. And then grab all the props. Blankets, a block, maybe a couple of blocks, a strap if you have it, a robe tie, a resistance band, and maybe even a bolster. I'm sitting on one right now. And then join me on your mat. Arrive on your mat. Let go of what came before and begin to take an easy seated position. We're going to do a little centering. This is exploration of cat pulling its tail. It is also a sort of yin yoga flow. Go ahead and begin to soften your body. Soften your eyes. Let your jaw relax. Inhale, exhale. Allow your shoulders to fall away from your ears. If you feel like you need to take any little movements before you settle down onto your mat, now is a great time to do that. And if it feels safe for you, I invite you to close your eyes. Otherwise, let your gaze become unfocused so you can begin to go inward. And cat pulling its tail is associated with the earth element in the organs and meridians of the spleen and stomach. And it is generally a deeply grounding practice. And it targets, especially today's practice, it targets the top of your thigh for spleen and stomach. And depending on how you choose to practice cat pulling its tail, it could also target the kidneys and bladder. And then you're targeting your low back a bit more. Kidneys, right? Excuse me. Just begin to notice your breath. Perhaps breathing in and out through your nose. Allowing the inhales to lengthen and the exhales to lengthen as you let all the stale air out of your body. And then maybe allow inhales and exhales to be about the same amount of time. And I'd like to share this quote with you from Rumi. Are you searching in the branches for what only appears in the roots? Think about that perhaps. In this practice, I'm also offering an affirmation you can use throughout the practice. I am grounded and content. Emotions associated with the earth element are worry and anxiety when it's out of balance. When it's in balance, it can be santosha or contentment. And slowly blink your eyes open. I'm going to come off my bolster, set it over towards the side. And then come to lay down on your side. So gently allow your hips to come down to your mat. Stretch that forearm onto your mat. Elbow is bent and knees are not bent. Legs are straight. I'm starting on my left side. Doesn't really matter. We're going to practice on both sides. So this top leg begins to move. So bend that knee. Grab a blanket maybe. And make it a bit more comfortable. Or rearrange my props a little. So it can be bent. And this back leg can be straight if you like. So remembering, we're targeting the front of the thigh. So if you are using this variation, you may not have a great deal of sensation. And that's okay. It doesn't take a lot. It's much more about the time spent in the pose than how deeply you go into the pose. Now, typically, though, when we practice cat pulling its tail, you also bend your back leg and grab hold onto that ankle. And so you'll be feeling that most likely on the front thigh of your back leg. If you can't reach this ankle, that's what the belt is for. You go ahead and put a strap around the back foot and bring it a little closer by using the belt. Now, another option is to straighten that front leg. That's why I have this blanket here, so I can land on a cushion, a moving cushion as it turns. As I have my leg coming out straight from my hip. That may or may not be comfortable for you. You can take that block, put it on top of the blanket, and place your foot onto the block. You can even grab the bolster and put it underneath this whole thigh. Because remember, we're mostly getting the sensation across the thigh on the back leg. Okay? Now, if you'd like to go a little deeper, I'm going to grab that block, put it over here. You can come down so that your whole side is on your mat. And you can stay with your leg coming out straight. You can have it bent. And you can put your head into your hand so that your neck doesn't get very, very tired. You can breathe here for a few moments. Notice any changes in the sensation in your body. In this version of cat pulling its tail, we are mostly targeting the front thigh of that back leg. And so we're connecting with the earth element, with the spleen and stomach meridians, trying to balance out worry and anxiety. Great practice for me today. It's been a lot of worry and anxiety in the last couple of weeks. And whichever variation you're finding your body wants today, just continue to take some deep breaths. If you feel like you don't have enough sensation in this variation, you can begin to bring your shoulder blades down to your mat. So now you can feel a slight twist in the low back, maybe a little arch in the low back. And that will actually slightly change where we're targeting and what meridians we're affecting. They're all really joined. So you can't really target just one meridian. But having your shoulder blades coming down towards the floor will target more of the kidney and bladder meridians. And that's associated with fear. And pay attention to what your body is saying if you choose to take this variation. Notice anywhere you're holding on with your muscles. Allow them to relax. And if you feel too much sensation in your low back, please come out of this variation and take one of the first few offered so that you're not twisting that back. Last couple of deep breaths here. And release that bottom leg. Come all the way down onto the mat. Bend both legs up towards your chest. And take a short counterpose in fetal pose. I am grounded and content. And then slowly take the palms, your elbow, begin to walk your body upright. And then gently swing your legs around to the other side. And we're just going to repeat on the second side. So you may find this side may be a lot tighter for you, or maybe not. Very few of us are the same side to side. So it's very normal to have one side to feel much tighter than the other. So go ahead and just bend that right elbow if you're following along with me. Grab any props you used the last time. Come on down to your forearm, and your legs are straight behind you. Take a couple breaths here. On your next inhale, take your top leg out from the hip, straight out from the hip, or have it bent. And then bend the bottom leg and see if you can grab hold of it. And if you can't, grab that strap. It's okay. Take a few deep breaths here. Remember, this back leg can also be straight. And then maybe you come down onto that forearm. If I can get this out of the way. Not so much. There we go. Onto the forearm. And if you lost that back foot, go ahead and catch it. Take a few deep breaths here. An invitation to close your eyes. And maybe you want to come all the way down, stretch that arm down, and place your ear onto that bottom arm. And then perhaps you want to begin to roll onto your back. Getting a gentle twist across the low back. And either stay in that variation, or maybe come back up. Eyes still closed, perhaps. Breathing deeply in and out through your nose. Noticing where in your body you are feeling sensation. Is it that back thigh rather? A little bit in the hips, perhaps. A little bit in that low back, perhaps. And last couple of breaths here. And wherever you are, let go of that back foot. Stretch down so that your head is cradled on your arm again. Bend both knees in towards the chest, into a fetal position. Take a few deep breaths here. Really feeling your body expanding. And that back expanding. I am grounded and content. And from here, you can gently roll onto your back. Go ahead and bring one leg into your chest and then the other. Wrap your arms around your shins or use a strap. And just take a moment to rebound, to allow the energies to begin to move throughout your body. Notice whatever sensations you feel in this pose. You really feel the ribs flaring out from side to side. Really taking lots of breath, prana, energy into that back area. And then go ahead and let your knees go. Bring your feet down towards the mat. And then take whatever final pose feels right to you. And that could be back to a fetal pose. Move into Savasana by taking one leg, stretching it out towards the short end of your mat, and then the other leg. We're going to take a few brief minutes in Shavasana to end your practice. And I will read Rumi's brief quote again. Are you searching in the branches for what only appears in the roots? Continue to relax in Shavasana until you hear me speak again. Invitation to stay in Shavasana for as long as feels right to you. If you have to move out into the rest of your day, allow your breath to deepen. Let your chest rise on the inhale and fall down on the exhale. Make any small movements you need to wake up that body. Feel your body resting on your mat, the support and stability that the mat and the earth are holding you in. And in your own way and in your own time, if you're moving on, make your way to a seated position. Inhale, take the palms of the hands together to touch in front of your heart. Slightly bowing your head over your hands. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you be free from pain and suffering. And may you feel contentment, santosha. And slowly begin to blink your eyes open, taking in your mat, and the floor, letting your hands drop to your lap or your thighs. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed exploring cat pulling its tail in all its various variations. I really highly encourage you to take that journal and make a few notes and maybe revisit this video from time to time. Try to get familiar with the different ways you can experience cat pulling its tail. You may also want to jot some notes about your emotions before the practice, after the practice. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. That allows me to bring free Yin Yoga to more people. And if you'd like to practice with me again, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the bell. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a contented rest of your day.